Hello all and welcome to another unboxing video. So we've got another controller for you this time. If you remember, we recently reviewed the wireless Bluetooth Saturn controller. Now we're looking at the wireless 2.4 GHz Mega Drive controller. Oh, this is exciting. So this is for use with Sega Mega Drive, the Sega Mega Drive Mini, PC, Mac, PS3 and Switch. That's pretty exciting. It looks lovely. It feels nice and heavy in the hand, this package, so it feels like value for money. And this little picture there, you can see what we're actually getting inside the box, which looks to be lovingly presented there. So we're going to open this up and see exactly what we get. So before I do that, I just point out that you should also get a USB dongle and a Mega Drive dongle. So plugs into your Mega Drive, plugs into your Mega Drive Mini, but that also means you can plug it into a PS3 or Nintendo Switch as well, or a PC, but not an Xbox. So don't go plugging this into your Xbox because it won't work. So, so that's nice. They've gone to the extra effort of putting this protective film over the top. So we're going to just peel that off satisfyingly. And here we are. Nice little box, a little clasp here. If we can work out how to open that. You'd think that would be easy. Yep, it is. You just push it in. And wow. You don't get just a cheap plastic tray here. You get sort of like a flocked tray, a flocked plastic tray, and two of these receivers to look at. Firstly, here is your USB one, not too big, pretty nice, pretty discreet, and your Mega Drive one, pops out there, again, looks pretty neat as well, and these buttons on both of these receivers I assume would be for syncing the controller. But let's look at the controller itself. See how tight. Oh, it's actually quite nicely fit in there. So this is based on the 6-button Mega Drive pad, and this is the lovely transparent blue version. You have 8 buttons. When I say 8 buttons, 8 so the input buttons, 6, 7, 8. But you also have a start button and a home and a select button for use on, I guess, the PS3 and the Switch, and maybe that's some functionality with PC as well. I'm not 100% sure. Of course, these don't work on your Mega Drive. Does that home button work on the Mega Drive Mini though? That would be something interesting to check. But yeah, it feels very nice. Nice D-pad, as this 6-button Mega Drive controller has always had. Shoulder buttons actually feel in a very natural position if you should need them, and 6 face buttons. So a fantastic controller. If anyone has used this particular controller on a Mega Drive will know. This time though, it's wireless. I don't think this controller has any rumble like the Saturn pad we looked at last time, but no, it feels as it should do, and I'm looking forward to giving this a go on the various consoles it's compatible with. Now, I would hope you get some sort of instructions here. We'll just see if there's anything under here, and of course there is. You're getting a fantastic little USB cable here. Can't ever have enough of those, and a thank you for playing. That's really nice. Little thing from Retro Bit there, make the controller, and here is your little manual here, which will explain where the USB port is on the controller, which is just on the top, but you probably can't see it very well. It's very small, very discreet there. I'll tell you how the different inputs work on the different consoles. This does mention it's also compatible with the Saturn, so should you have the wireless receiver for the Saturn, it will work on that as well. That's pretty cool. And the USB receiver will also let it work with Android devices too, it says here. So, features, I don't know if you can read this or not. It's got a 2.4 GHz fishy wireless controller. So, I'm not sure how this differs from Bluetooth technology, because I know Bluetooth also uses 2.4 frequency, so it'd be interesting to see how this compares to a Bluetooth controller. So it's got this great little storage box and manual. Goes in sleep mode, 5 minutes, up to 9 meters gaming range, includes a 1 meter charging cable, rechargeable battery. Pairing, I assume, will be different for different. Well, actually, pairing, I suppose, is rather straightforward. You're just pressing this button here. Sorry, this button here, or depending on which receiver you're using. Also with, let's see. Once connected, the LED light will blink to indicate it's in search mode, and just press start on the controller and the LED controller will blink as well. Press and hold the sync button on the receiver, release the sync button once the receiver and controller's LED remain solid. That sounds very straightforward, so we'll see how that is in practice. So with the Sega Mega Drive, charging. Okay, you can switch between modes in 6 and 3, because I know some Mega Drive games don't like the 6-button controller, so that's why there was a mode button on that original controller. Press start and B until it changes colour, that switches that around. And then the LED shows blue, change to red, the controller will not function on the console if it is blue. Okay, so you've got to bear these things in mind. Okay, but relatively simple stuff. But as I say, I'll see how that is in practice and get back to you with some final thoughts on the controller. Hello, so I've had a go with the Retrobit Mega Drive controller. This is the 2.4 GHz USB or Mega Drive controller port version. So here it is. As you just saw in the unboxing, it's a very nice looking controller, and I'm happy to say it also works exceedingly well. Also, this is a wonderful controller to play games with. You forget you're holding a controller. Maybe that sounds weird, but it just feels so natural to use. I can't say I've used these shoulder buttons yet. None of the games I've played have required me to do so, but I've played a few games on the PS3 with this, Marvel vs. Capcom, and a few other games. I think a couple of platform games, played a couple of Sonics. With Sonic CD, I played for a good amount of time with this. Also on the Mega Drive, I've also played Dick Tracy. Just Dick Tracy, basically. It's a great game. If you haven't played Dick Tracy on the Mega Drive or Master System, it's a very good game, made by SEGA as well. This controller feels exactly as you'd expect the 6-button Mega Drive controller to feel. It feels just the same as the original ones. But the added bonus is this is wireless. But of course, wireless controllers can also come with the issue of lag or latency or whatever you want to call it. Have not experienced that with this controller. There is no noticeable lag, which is fantastic. So in comparison with the Bluetooth controllers the Retrobit also do, I feel like there is not the noticeable lag on this, where there is a slight bit of lag on the Bluetooth controllers. Not game breaking by any means, but I think this particular controller, I assume the Saturn version just the same as this, using the dongles as opposed to just the Bluetooth, is actually the way to go and the one to get if you're going to get one of the models. As I say, there are some advantages to the Bluetooth model. You don't need a dongle. It is usable with more things more easily. You don't have to worry about syncing the dongle, I would suppose, which unfortunately is a little bit of an issue on the model of PS3 that I have. Otherwise, syncing is fine. It takes a little longer than some things do to sync, but it's not too bad at all. I wouldn't complain about that. The only complaint I do have, and I'll show you this, is it's a little difficult to initially sync to the PS3. So this is the model of PS3 I have. This is a slim model, so I think you'll be able to see straight away where the issue is. So that is, getting a little bit of sunlight there, perfect. Get you to see that, that's where the sync button is. You plug that in, to a PS3, you can't press the sync button. So the only way I've really found of doing this effectively is to get something thin and press it like that. So unfortunately that isn't the best thing. However, once synced, it does seem to stay synced as long as you press the start button again. So, but I'm not 100% sure that if you're switching between different consoles, if you have to resync it or not. However, it's fine. You know, it's just if you want this specifically, this controller specifically for the Slim PS3, then you are going to encounter that issue. Unless I suppose you've got some sort of USB extender, which could probably help you get around that problem. So in conclusion, would I recommend getting one of the fantastic, I've said it already, Retrobit Mega Drive 6-button controllers, 2.4 GHz with the either the USB dongle or the Mega Drive dongle. Both come in this fantastic case here, which opens up with this sort of flock interior, and you also get a charging cable here to charge it. I've been using it on its initial charge and I haven't had any issues with having to charge it yet, so the battery life on the controller does seem to be pretty good. So yes, in short, yes, I would recommend this. I'm already thinking about buying a second one. It's fantastic for something like the Mega Drive Mini, where initially you don't get a 6-button controller and you get a wired 3-button controller. This fixes all those issues you might have with playing Street Fighter 2, which as far as I know is the only the only game that really requires you to have 6 buttons, because otherwise you have to flick between punches and kicks, and it's just not the Street Fighter experience you want. Whereas this gives you that perfect Street Fighter experience, and this controller has maintained its status as a classic, comfortable, functional controller. Also on the Mega Drive Mini, what you get is quick access to the game's in-game menus to either save or boot back to the main menu to select another game. So that's just done by pressing the select button, which is pretty nice. I will also point out, just before I finish this video, is on the PS3 the home button on this doesn't work, so you will need to keep a PS3 controller by your side in order to jump out of games by using the PlayStation button on that controller, because this doesn't seem to do it. So I think out of all the ways you could use this, sadly the PS3 is probably the most flawed. Well, the only flawed one. All the others are perfect. So yeah, the flaws seem to be if you want to connect this to a PS3, especially a slimline PS3. But I want to end it on a very positive note and just say how much I like this controller, how actually excited I am to just play another game with it. It is that comfortable and that responsive, and ooh, I just love it. So that was my review for the Retrobit 2.4 GHz wireless controller, which uses the dongles and comes in a, as I've said multiple times, a lovely little I don't know, little case. Keep it nice. So thanks again for watching the video, and until I see you again for another unboxing or similar video, happy gaming and catch you again soon. Bye.